We're back in Godot. Last time in the multiplayer series we were in Ruby on Rails writing our own API endpoints, created a user registration and a user login, and also user list, just so we had that and we can play around with that. I recently deployed this whole thing to Heroku, zerosploit-api.herokuapp.com /users.json. Should be giving back an empty array. Now, on a free instance of Heroku, it has a 30-second spin-up time if it hasn't been called for a while. Okay, so here we have an empty user array. I will roll a little video right now of something I did earlier in the day, where I actually show you the entire deploy process. You will have to install the Heroku tool belt for your own operating system, whichever that is. You can find those instructions on Heroku. The reason we're doing this, and I will show you that Heroku real quick, is that it allows us to not have to have a dedicated server somewhere in our house or run it on the same machine. We actually we make use of Heroku's free instance that you can see here. It doesn't give you very many features, but so look, after 30 minutes of inactivity, if the API isn't constantly called, it will go to sleep, so it will take like 30 seconds to spin back up. And also if you make too many requests a month, it will stop responding. You only have 512 megabytes of RAM and only one concurrent worker or web instance. All that stuff doesn't matter for now because we're just prototyping anyway, but once we get further into the whole thing, we might move the whole thing to Amazon, or I think there's even a cheaper service out there, so we'll do some research on that. But that's the reason. I'm going to run you the other video right now. I might narrate that as well. Right on, so the first thing we need to do, of course, is open our code. We're going to do a little bit in the API here because what I need is to set up a way of getting the user's public IP address. The reason we want to do that is so we can have in the lobby UI code, we can have the IP address for the server that they're starting automatically filled with their IP address. So I set up a resources route that just gives us all the standard routes for the controller, and in the controller all I do is I define an index action, so we have something to call, and then there I will render the IP address, the public IP address of the user as a JSON response, and we can get that from the request itself. So we do request.remote IP. And I'm making a mistake here, so let's fix that real quick. It should actually be render instead of return. Okay, so when we run that locally, we see that we get an IP address back. Obviously, this is our local IP because we are calling it from our local system and the server is running locally. I will show you now how to set up a Heroku account so we can deploy this server to Heroku. And we will fill out this form and our email address, company name, and the role. I'll define myself as a hobbyist. And country is France. I live in France at the moment, and our main language is Ruby. Why not? So I'm not a robot yet. Now you have to go to your email and click a link in there, set your password. Making a mistake here, so let's do that correctly. And confirm your password. Uncheck the box so they don't spam you. Not that Heroku really spams you, but whatever, you know. And so we have an account. Great. Now if you want to learn more about it, you can click around here and read some documentation. But this is all you need. And then you need to install the Heroku tool belt. I already have that installed, but I need to log out of the account that I'm using at the moment. So that takes a little bit. And then do Heroku login to get a prompt for us to log in with the account we just created. And just Google install Heroku tool belt on whichever platform you're on, Windows, Linux, whatever, Mac. Okay, so to create a new instance for you to serve your API on, you just do Heroku create and give it the name that you want to use. This name has to be unique. If anybody else on Heroku is using that name already, you will have to create a new name. It will automatically add a new Git origin to your configuration. So you just do git push Heroku master, and that will actually in one fell swoop deploy the entire application. It's very easy to use, as you can see. Okay, now that is done, we need to run our migrations on Heroku as well. So we do Heroku run Rails DB migrate. You just use the same commands as you normally use locally with Rails, only you just put Heroku run in front of it, and that will make it run on your Heroku instance. And then to get to your instance, you just do the name of your application .herokuapp.com. So in my case, zerosploit-api.herokuapp.com. And I'm looking for ips.json. Now it is saying not found, and there's a reason for that we will soon discover. I'm verifying here that my user's route works, and that works. It gives us back an empty array because we haven't created any users yet. So I try again. Obviously nothing will change, it's still not found. And I'm kind of trying to figure it out now, and then I finally get it. I actually need to commit my changes. Otherwise my new code won't be there. And then again I do git push Heroku master, and that will start a new deploy to Heroku. And as you can see now, that works. We get our IP back as a JSON response with the key IP and the value of the public IP address. So now the final thing to do is not to forget to actually push the code as well to GitHub, because that's where I really do my version control, and also to keep it publicly available for you guys. So I push it to GitHub, and then it's all done. Okay, so now we're back. As you could possibly see in that other video, I made this ips.json request as well, because what I wanted to do, and you can see that here, was basically I wanted to start a new scene, and let's say, okay, you can't save an empty scene. So let's make a spatial node on that. That's what you need to instantiate a 3D scene. And then on that spatial, I wanted to make a panel, right? So panel container, and then just a panel. And then in that panel, I wanted to make a line edit. Was it? Yeah, line edit. All right, so and let's make quickly as well a button. And of course, because I'm talking, my dog is gonna go crazy again because he loves attention that way. So let's scale that panel up. This is so incredibly irritating. Like, how are they going to put these little buttons all on top of each other? Alrighty, you know what, and then the panel is now grown as well, so the line edit is over there. I can grab that. Okay, so let's just I'm not really too concerned with how things look at the moment. Oh, that stupid little button over there, that's so dumb. Why would you do this? Okay, so we can actually probably just find in here the we put some text on it. So okay, start game. Okay, start game. Okay, so now we have this. Now we can save it, and I'll just call this the lobby. I'm not going to go too far into the lobby for this video. We'll do that in the next one. I really want to focus on making HTTP requests to our API happen, and either do a sign up or a login. I'm going to try to keep it compact per video, otherwise they're going to become extremely long, and nobody needs that. So here in config, we was it in config? No. Run. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna change my main scene to my lobby. Okay, that's all done, and then I can play it. So what I wanted to achieve was to have this text field automatically filled with the IP address of the player. I couldn't find any way of making that happen from Godot, and I'm talking about the public IP address, not the local host IP address. So not 192.168.0. whatever, not 127.001. I wanted to have the actual public facing IP of the player, so that when they get into the lobby and they want to start their own game, their IP is already pre-filled, making it easier for the player. Yeah. So that's why I made this endpoint right here on my API, because in Ruby I did know how to do it, and I'm gonna hide this IP because it's my IP, but it's showing me like a public-facing IP over there. So okay, now what we will need is and I'm thinking of making that over here is an HTTP request node. So we're going to add that there. Then I need to look something up, and I'm going to leave these things in from now on because of these requests for beginner tutorials. I'm honestly probably not the right person to make you a beginner tutorial, because I don't know so much about Godot myself yet. I've only been like working with it for like 2 weeks now or something, and not full time. Okay, so Godot 3 docs. You can see in the background my dog is trying to get as much attention as he can, but we're going to try to ignore him. He's going to do his best to prevent that. Okay, so we are looking for networking, and this is really like, as a beginner, I'm just gonna like branch off real quick. As a beginner, you want to be watching these things anyway, because eventually you will want to do multiplayer, and what you're getting from this is like you're going to get acquainted with a couple of concepts. You might not know exactly how to use them right now, but in the future, when you have to start breaking down problems into smaller chunks, you will remember these things that you've seen here. And you need to learn how to read these documentation. You need to learn how to read the documentation. That's very important. Okay, so what's happening here? We need to grab the node. So let's go to the line edit thing and attach a script to that. We'll just call that line edit for now. That's fine. We attach a script to that, and on the ready function, can I do that on the ready function? I'm pretty sure I can. Let me see. We cannot call it directly like this, but what we can do is do this standard trick, get. I can't do get parent, can I? Does get tree get the? We're gonna try that right now. Does get tree get the root directly? So then var HTTP equals root dot get node. See, this is why I should not be making you a beginner tutorial, because I don't even know if get tree gets the root from this tree right there. I don't know if it jumps back straight, or I have to just parent out of it. You see, I'm discovering all of this. Normally I cut all this stuff out, but I'm thinking if I let in the kind of research, or the way I research the things, maybe a beginner will have some use of that. It's gonna maybe suck for you that it's a little bit of a longer video, but okay, I'm going off on a few tangents, but this is maybe funny for you. If you hate me talking too much about shit and not typing, put your fingers on the J, K, and L keys and use L to skip forward. K, you can pause things, and J to skip backwards 10 seconds. So J and L skip forwards and backwards, or backwards and forwards 10 seconds. And you can skip all these nonsense things and just tab really quickly to when I start typing again, which is what I'm going to be doing right now. I want to get HTTP request. That's the node we're looking for. Now we should hopefully be able to do http.request, okay, and then hello Boogie. Okay, and okay, don't push me. We need to call our API. Yeah, hello. No. Okay, I'm going to put you on the floor, okay? Go on, no, go on the floor. .heroku app.com / ips.json, because that's our endpoint to get our IP. Now back to the documentation. There's this function on HTTP request completed. On HTTP request completed. That's not nice. The way that you implement that is you click on your HTTP request, click on node, and then you get all the signals that you can send. And then you can connect them to your script. So the way that I do that is I click on this one, I double click on that one, and I connect it to the line edit, okay? So we just hit connect, and it will automatically, as you can see right here, create that function for us where we need it to be. So then we just quickly copy paste this part in there. So okay, for JSON is JSON parse body get string UTF-8, print JSON result. Now it has an unexpected ident, so that's probably this right there. No, wait, it's this right here. It doesn't have a tab. That should be fine, right? Yeah. Okay, so we can print the JSON result, and the way that it comes back from our API is it's wrapped in a little IP key. So what we want to do is self.text equals JSON.result. Is it just like this? Let's just try if that works. No. Get node in base scene tree. Okay. For now, I'm just going to do get parent. I'm pretty sure if I do get parent, I will be in the panel, so I need to do that 3 more times. Is that right? Like, this does not look like it should be the way to do it, but for now, well, that worked perfectly. So yeah, we now have our IP address automatically filled in, and also we've made our first HTTP call to our own API. Boogie is excited too. You can't see him at the moment, but Boogie the dog is very excited. Okay, so like that's already pretty good. Like the next thing we would do, I'm not going to implement the entire lobby system now. I think let's try to at least create a user. So for that, I'm going to go back to project settings. I'm going to set my main scene back to main, and I'm going to ignore the lobby code for now. So what we want to do here is go to our console and implement a login command, or shall we make a create user or register? Let's make a login command. I might actually do something different there. So, okay. You're really trying, Abu. Okay, so let's do it, implement it here. We need to refactor this this code because it's really starting to suck. So at the moment, the whole parsing and lexing is a bit broken as well, like because I'm obligated now to pass in something, otherwise it won't work. But we will fix that. Sorry, I need to click on the plus. I need to add an HTTP request node on this. So okay, get parent var. We're going to keep this as simple as possible. Accounts. Yes, that's what we're going to do. Is a root dot get node account. Actually, I'm going to singularize that. That's a tough word. Singularize. I can't say it. And that's it. Okay, so we need to add a node, and that will be just a node, like a null. How do I normally do that? I do it like this, huh? Yeah. Okay, so and then we add a script to that. No, cancel. We're gonna rename that account. Then we add a script to it, so it's immediately called account. Back to the console script. Okay. We will do account.login, just like that. Okay. Ta-da. Then in the account, okay, right there. I'm actually not doing the login function, I'm doing the create user function. I will set that up right now for you. So like here we will call the users list, and as you can see, that's an empty array, because last time in the last video I was showing you I was doing it on Linux, and in that database it was localhost. I did create a user. On Heroku I haven't created any users yet, so you can see that that is completely empty. Okay, so now in I have to kind of like refer back to what I did in edit there. Right, so okay, back to account, sorry. Func login, oh, I wasn't typing. Func login. Right, so okay, now we need the editor. Now we need the console. For root equals get parent, var console equals root dot get node. Console. Sorry, I have this like obsession with getting my equal signs lined up. Right, console dot insert text at cursor. Handle space. Let's just see how far we are with this. Yeah, okay. Where? How is that happening? Get global that happened before, didn't it? Why is that happening? Node not found player? Is it the same problem I had last time with the code game? It will be, yeah, okay. Save, okay. Yeah, it's a bit chaotic, I know. Login temp. Okay, we have a non-existent function. Insert text at cursor. Okay. At least we were already on the way there, so that's good. Handle. Okay, so test. Okay. Now we just need to figure out how to do that. We need to store that somehow. Oh yeah. Interesting. So same as in a console, basically. Yeah, kind of like this, huh? Let me just copy this entire thing over, and then I'll try to walk us through it. But so basically, we can get rid of. No, we need to keep this. Just say what? Yes, okay, I know how we're going to do this. We're going to have a account details empty array, okay? And we're going to have a, what am I doing wrong? Oh yeah, var. And we're going to have a var current index, which is going to equal 0, okay? So right here, when input is key pressed, enter. So whenever we press enter, we're going to add everything that is in command to account details current index, right? And then we empty command. cmd equals did it. And whenever we let's just get rid of all this for now and just be very careful with how we type. I like to build things up very small and easy. And Boogie is breaking everything. So command also needs to be a var command, a global. Alright, let's line this one up. Okay, so now when we're typing, yes, we are typing, and then everything is added to the command string. Whenever we press enter, the command string is added to the account details and the current index. So first the first one, and then we need to actually, that's right, current index plus equal 1. So that means we can handle 3 prompts, right? Meaning that we type. Yes, so okay, we actually need to, this is a bit dirty, but it's really not about this right now. We were going to fix that. If current index equals 1, password current index equals 2, v let's make sure we're not going to get any indentation errors. Password confirmation. All right, and then finally right. No, let's do it like this. Current index equals 3. Then we need to handle sending the actual details to the server. Okay? All I want to achieve right now is making sure that this is going to show me a user. Okay? So way I'm going to do that, back to the documentation, we need to make a post request. Do we have anything in here that allows us to request custom headers method request data as a string? Okay, that's going to require some playing around. First of all, let's get the HTTP client. Okay, so var root equals get parent, var HTTP equals root.get node HTTP request. Okay, now we have it. So http.request request our endpoint is zerosploit-api.heroku-app.com/users.json. It needs to be a post request. How do we set it to a post? String, custom headers, pull string array. Is there anything on the next page? No, that's something completely different. Networking. Does the HTTP client class give us anything? No. Okay, so backup plan. Godot 3 HTTP post request. Wait, there's something over there. Post. No. Post. Method 2. That's HTTP client. That's not what we're using right now. Yeah, okay, I get that, but the enums method, okay, HTTP client request int method. Okay, so can we just do HTTP client like that? Request, this is just gonna be cool. So enums method post equals 2. Yeah, okay, so I can just do this, right? Like, no problem. Okay, like that. And method string headers string body. I don't care about the headers. What's the headers? It's a pull string array. Okay, so there you go. String body. I don't understand how this is A freaking string. Why is it not a dictionary? It'd be so much better as a dictionary. So how do we do that? Like, is it going to be handle equals comma account details 0 and if it's like this, I'm gonna get angry. Password equals account details 1 and password confirmation equals account details 2. I'm pretty sure this is not going to work. Identifier not found, editing. What are you talking about? Oh. Now then, like this? Yes, okay. I know, because it's still running. Console is not found. Of course it isn't. Tap. Well, I mean, I can do it right there, and then I actually don't have to do this one. It's running again. Wait, okay. It's just a 2, isn't it? It's just a 2, isn't it? And it's running again, so login temp infinite set index 0 on base array with value type string, current index 0, account details. What the fuck are you talking about? Infinite set index 0 on base array with value type of string. This needs to be a pool string array or something, is that it? Do I have to call new on that or no? Ah, this is so irritating. Okay, so something happened with the video that I recorded that showed how to fix the API. So I'm just going to show you. You're going to have to go to your controllers, to application controller, just open that file and just comment out this line, okay? That is a way for Rails to do forgery protection in the form. We will implement our own security layers later. So don't worry about that now, but you have to comment out this line, otherwise you cannot call your API from Godot. Okay, so we finally have this working. In the previous little snippet of video, I showed you that we had to remove some forgery checking from the Rails side, from the application controller. Now, let's go quickly over the script. A lot has happened. I've removed the array issue that was giving me a problem for now and just went to simple strings, login, password, password confirmation. I also needed to remove the enter string from my command because of the way that I handle console input. Then if the current index is 1, we ask for the password. Remember that in the login method that we call first, we already asked for the handle of the user. Then we ask for the password next, and then we ask for the password confirmation third. And then when the current index is 3, we set the password confirmation to the final bit that is typed. And then comes the really icky part. So we have to create a new HTTP client, instantiate a new client, store it in HTTP, connect to the host zerosploit-api.herokuapp.com on port 80, and store the response in error, and then assert if error is okay. If not, your script will crash and it will give you validation that way. Then we start a while loop here where we get the status of connecting or resolving for the HTTP client, so that if it's still connecting to your server or trying to resolve the address, it just does an HTTP poll, prints out a debug string, and waits 500 milliseconds to re-loop, and it will do that until it's connected, or it will assert its status as it will assert its status as connected, and if not, your script will crash. Then I was trying to do it the nice way with using HTTP query string from dictionary to just pass in a dictionary like this and have that resolve to my body. But the problem, and I can show you that in my Heroku logs right here, was now we have to search for it a little bit because some stuff has happened. I was getting an error, and the reason being was that the body wasn't passed in correctly. So let's just see, this is where a post request came in, and oh yeah, here I see it. So here you can see the parameters that are passed to our Rails application. Now user is indeed a key and has a value in the way that Rails assigns them, so with a little arrow symbol. And then here in the subhash is where it went wrong. It's showing that sort of Godot way of using normal parentheses to separate the key and value. So that didn't work for me. So what I did was just do it the dirty way and just create the entire string manually. We're just prototyping. We're going to clean all of this up and make it nicer. But Rails expects us to send the whole thing in a main key called user, and then have subkeys for the handle, the password, and password confirmation. And this should look familiar to you if you're used to handling HTML forms with any kind of backend code, you know. So like this is where we construct the body for our request, and then finally we do the HTTP request. We can call a method post on HTTP client to give it to tell it to make a post request. Then we set our endpoint, which is /users.json, because we already have the server URL there. And we set the content type. It's a form URL encoded. The content length is just the string of the body dot length, and we pass in the body. And then that will result if we just run the thing real quick. So we can type login. So we do test2, test, and test as a password confirmation. We wait a little bit, and then when we go and have a look at our server, we should now see user number 2, test2. So finally we managed to create a user, and that's where I'm going to end it now. Next video about multiplayer, we're going to do one of two things. We're either going to do login, or we're going to do some proper cleanup and implement all of this in a more sane and reusable way. I think that might be the best option for us to take. And then after that, we will really dive into lobby code and logging in and creating a game and all that stuff. So that's it for now.